If you or someone you know is struggling in the aftermath of the election, you feel like you've been let down. You feel like if people only saw the world the way you see it, and why can't people see the bigger picture here and see what's really at stake? If you have any of those thoughts, if you feel something else, if you feel fear about the future, a little bit of heartbrokenness, whatever it is, all the feels, you are so in the right place. I'm so glad that you are here today. What we are going to do is move through two stages of healing. And this is a particular healing technique known as somatic respiratory integration. It was developed by the same person who developed network spinal analysis. And with this, so the name is quite long, somato-respiratory integration. It's basically body breath awareness. And before you are like, oh yeah, so this is just breath work. This is just another name for breath work, another name potentially for meditation. It is not. I do not meditate. I have tried many different breath works and it leaves me feeling just confused. This is the only thing I've actually stuck with. This is the only thing I have seen progress with for myself. And it is a 12-stage healing modality. We're focusing in on the first two stages, which is stage one is suffering. You may resonate particularly strongly with that. And stage two is recognizing polarities. So these two felt especially apt in the wake of what happened this week. All right, if you, as we're moving through this, if you want more background on it, there is a book written by Dr. Donnie Epstein himself called The 12 Stages of Healing. Highly recommend it. And then there is also, for even more geeking out on, a workbook, the 12, let's see, Somato-Respiratory Integration Workbook, or SRI workbook. All right, so again, today we are doing stages 1 and 2. All right, to begin with, let's go over the 3 areas that we're going to focus on for today. So area 1 is actually between your shoulder blades, so your clavicle here and the center of your heart space. The hand position for both of these is fingers tucked in, thumbs tucked in, and then we're going to overlay our hands directly and place that on the body. So if you can see, my hands are overlapping. And this is known as position 1 here, once again, underneath the shoulder blades above the heart space. This is position 1. And all we're going to do is breathe in the nose, out the mouth. And as you breathe in, focus on this area right underneath your hands. So focus on this area and see what it feels like as you bring your breath into this area. We're just going to take a couple of breaths here. And now that you've brought a couple of breaths into this area, the next thing, instead of breath, think of movement. Think of movement under your hands. So let's try this again, focusing on movement. Okay. What did you notice as you focused on movement? Was there more actually movement directly underneath your hand? Or was breath a better choice for you? Were you able to focus your awareness and your body's attention here in this space underneath your hand better with movement or breath. And now bring your hands back to this position. Once again, thumbs tucked in. And I'm actually going to turn one more light on in this room. Let's see if that helps a little bit. Okay. So put it up so it's a little more obvious of where my hands are. So here, once again, between your clavicle, your shoulder blades, and your heart space, bring both hands positioned directly over each other. So just like this, bring it to that area. And this time, we're going to think of energy. So on your inhale and exhale, think of energy and see how much the space directly underneath your hands expands as you focus on energy, bringing energy into this area. Another breath in the nose, out the mouth. Bring your hands off your body. So these three techniques that we just walked through breath, movement, and energy. Which of those gave you the greatest expansion in this area? Once again, directly under your hand. And which of these did you feel most connected with? You can even rate two, like your best two or your most favored two of the three. There's likely going to be one that you struggle with. For me, I struggle with breath. I feel like my breath goes everywhere except right underneath my hand. Movement and energy are definitely strongest for me. For me, even though today, especially, even though I don't feel as much movement directly under my hand when I focus on energy, I am so much more connected and so much more grounded when I focus on energy, when I think of energy expanding underneath my hand, even though movement is the biggest actual expansion as I breathe in and out. So whatever that looks like for you, for now we're just observing it. Like this is interesting. We're going to move on to position two. Position two is here. So where your ribs join, this little xiphoid process right here, that's where we're going to bring our hands. So once again, this overlapping hand position directly over this space. And we're going to, once again, focus on breath. Breathe into this area. Notice what you notice. The breath is in the nose, out the mouth. Now move on to movement. Focus on movement underneath this area. Now bring your attention to energy. All right, let's move on to position three. Position three is here directly over the belly button. So if you bring the palm of your hand over your belly button, you're in a position. All right, we're gonna, once again, focus on breath. Breathe into this area for 2 breaths. Focus on movement. Now focus on energy. Okay, bring your hands off your body. And which of those three areas, which of these three positions, position one, position two, or position three, was easiest for you? This one's probably going to stand out very well. And then the next question is, which of these areas was most difficult for you? And if you are thinking, well, I actually had two spaces, two positions that were really difficult for me, where it just felt like I couldn't really control the breath, movement, or energy in that space. That's okay. In this next one, we're in this next um, what a set of actions or exercises. We're actually going to bring our hands back to a position where it felt really difficult. And I think for a lot of us right now, just guessing, it's probably here in this heart space. It could very well be position two as well. And if it was position three for you, go ahead and bring your hands there. I'm going to bring my hands to the position one. Okay. So again, we're breathing in the nose, out the mouth. This time, we're not going to move through breath, movement, and energy. You're going to pick the one of those that resonates most with you today. And just know that each time you move through this exercise, it may change on what your priority is. And as you do this over and over again, you may go ahead and couple your two easiest ones of these. So the set of three, the breath, movement, and energy, is known in SRI, once again, somatic respiratory integration, as the primary order. So whichever one of these works best for you, focus there for today. As you feel ready, you can definitely focus on your second easiest one or second most connected one as well. So for me, it would be movement is giving me the most expansion, but energy is giving me the most groundedness. And so I would select energy, especially for where things are. Because if you tend to feel scattered, anxious, wherever you feel most grounded and connected, that's going to be your first choice, always. So for me, it would be energy. And then movement would be second. Breath, I'm not even paying attention to breath. We want to focus on areas of ease in everything we do with these exercises. That said, bring your hands to the position that was most difficult for you. Okay, so once again, I'm going to bring my hands to position one. And as we breathe in the nose, out the mouth this time, as we're breathing out, we're going to say some declarations. The first time through, you just listen to these. As you hear me say more and more, chances are something's going to pop up and you're going to feel like you know exactly what to say. Go ahead and say it out loud. If you're not in a space where you can say it out loud, whisper it. It's okay just to think it, whatever you need to do. Okay, so here we are in position one, breathing in the nose, out the mouth, focusing on breath, movement, or energy, whichever one of those is most grounded and most connected for you, okay? Sometimes it feels so stuck here. Sometimes it feels like nothing is ever going to change and things are never going to get any better. Right now, it really feels like things are getting worse. Like things are really going to get bad, really, really bad. And I don't know what to do about it. I don't have a clue what the next step should be. I want a way out of this, and I don't know where to turn. I don't know what to do. I don't know who to talk to. I don't know where the answers are. Here, bring your awareness underneath your hands. Sometimes I feel so stuck here. Hands up your body. Now bring your hands to the area of greatest ease. For me, that was definitely position 3. This was easiest to connect to, easiest to ground to. Okay. And we're going to enjoy the deliciousness of how easy it is to move in this area of our bodies. Keep your hands there and continue to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. As this part of you, once again, whichever position is most engaged, most at ease for you, as this part of you expands with the inhale and draws in with the exhale, notice if you begin to feel a particular spot in the breath, whether it's typically on the exhale, whether this is midway through the exhale or even at the bottom of the exhale. Notice if you start to feel movement out of that area, maybe wrapping around towards your back or expanding to other parts of the body. Very often it will feel almost like a band of energy expanding from underneath your hands and wrapping around towards your spine. So just notice that. And as you notice that, what this is known as the moment of SRI. This is a moment of peace, a moment of solitude, actually a moment of solace. Solace is a better word. So a moment of solace. So as you breathe into that, if you notice it, just smile to yourself or think, I am so grateful I have this area of ease within my body. It's so peaceful here. We're going to do that same. If you didn't feel it, that is okay. I highly encourage you to move through this stage again as you're lying down. So this is great to do. This is something that I've started doing in bed at night. I'll move through stages 1 and 2 quite often, especially if I'm having trouble sleeping. But sometimes if I just feel like I have something unprocessed from the day, I will move through these 2 back to back. It really doesn't take a whole lot of time. You can recheck your primary order every time you do this, or you can just go with what you know works. For me, so far, energy and movement are always better, more expensive for me than breath. So I typically would, now the order of those 2 changes for me a lot on which is top and which is second. I will just go intuitively with which one works the best, or maybe do a quick scan just in one position and then go with it. So it can be really fast to move through these stages. I'm actually going to demonstrate that at the end of this recording, just really quickly how it would look if you want to do this as part of your bedtime routine. For now, what we're going to do is bring our hands back to the area that felt sticky. Whether this is whichever position this is, 1, 2, or 3. Again, I'm going to bring my hands to position 1. when we're looking for the same thing. We're looking for that moment of SRI. We're looking for that point in the breath where it just feels effortless, where things feel easy, where things feel peaceful, where it feels like, okay, so let's bring our hands here. Or whichever one of the three positions was most difficult for you. That's where we are right now. Breathe in the nose, focusing on the top of your primary order, breath, movement, or energy, whichever one is most grounded, most connected for you. Close your eyes if that helps. One more. Even though this is an area where I feel stuck often, I can still feel peace in this space. Guys, bring your hands off your body. That is all for stage 1 SRI. It's usually encouraged to go back to the area of greatest ease, take a few more breaths there. For what we're doing today, we're moving directly into stage 2. So we're going with it. All right, so we've already identified the areas of greatest ease and the areas where it's not so easy. For this one, I'm actually going to stick with positions 1 and 3. So position 1 being the area where it's difficult for me to focus my attention, focus expansion here. So I'm going to bring my hands here. And as I breathe in the nose, out the mouth, I'm going to talk to this area just like you would talk to a little child. So this would be just like you would talk to one of your children when you're trying to console them. This would be just like you would talk to you as a little child. Whatever you needed to hear for reassurance, whatever you needed to hear when you were inconsolable. Okay, let's go ahead. So breathe in the nose, out the mouth. Speak up, Brandy. Speak up, Brandy. It's okay. What do you need? What do you feel? What do you want to share? What do you need to get off your chest? It's okay to tell me. It's okay. It's okay. You can go ahead and talk. You can go ahead and speak up. It's okay to ask for exactly what you need. Nobody is going to think you're silly for saying that. Go ahead and share it. I think it's a great idea. Nobody's going to think that you're silly for feeling the way that you feel right now. Nobody's going to think this is ridiculous. Nobody's going to think that. You are this is your unique experience here on earth. And whatever you are feeling in this moment, you were made to feel it. You were made to experience it exactly as you're experiencing it. This was written into your journey before you ever set foot here. How would that ever be wrong? It's part of you. It's who you are. It's how you are. It's how you are made. It's who you are and how you show up in this world. And it's okay to shout it from the rafters. It's okay to shout it from the rooftops. It's okay if people try to shut you down while you're saying it. Doesn't mean it doesn't need to be said. Doesn't mean you shouldn't say it. You should say it. Say it. Say it. Say it. Come on, speak up. It is okay. It is okay. Your voice matters. Your voice matters. How you see this world matters. Who you are matters. And regardless of how unique your perspective is, I'll be here for you. I'll always, always be here for you every step of the way. Every time you are ready to speak, speak, speak. And bring your hands off your body. Take a moment for yourself. If you need to grab a tissue, grab a tissue. Take as long as you need. If you're watching this afterwards and you need to pause this and feel all the feels, do that. If you need to get up and move, do that. Whatever you need to do. Okay. I'm actually going to get up myself for a minute. Oh, the next part of stage 2 is where we acknowledge polarities. Um, when you and what I just realized is that I actually flipped this and we were supposed to be doing this one first. So oops, my bad. But we're going to go ahead and acknowledge these polarities. So especially now that this area is speaking up, this may be interesting. So you're going to bring one hand on the position where it's been very difficult for you, and then the other hand on the position of ease, of greatest ease, where it's easiest for you to expand. And what we're going to do is do one breath set into and out of this area, the one area first, whichever hand is on top. Focus on bringing the breath in and out there first. Doesn't matter if it's the area of greatest ease or the area of greatest difficulty for you. You're going to expand and exhale in this area first. Inhale and exhale in this area first. And then your next breath, you're going to inhale and exhale in the lower hand. And we're just going to do this for a little while and see what we see. Okay. Notice if the rhythm changed. Okay, so we're like on our second set of breaths. Notice if the rhythm changed. Notice if this expansion changed. Breathe into the top hand again. Breathe into the bottom hand again. One more time, top hand. bottom hand. Mhm. Now, as you continue breathing, listen to these declarations. Feel free to add any of your own. I have parts of me that are wise and parts of me that are foolish. I have parts of me that are strong and parts of me that are weak. I have parts of me that are soft, parts of me that are hard, parts of me that are very feminine, parts of me that are so masculine and dominating. Parts of me that surrender, parts of me that control, or parts of me that want to take over, and parts of me that are timid. There are parts of me that are ugly, and parts of me that are pretty, and parts of me that are mean, and parts of me that are loving. I have parts of me that are impatient. I have parts of me that concede. Parts of me that are smart, and parts of me that are dumb. I have parts of me that see, that intuit, that know, and parts of me that are completely unaware. And parts of me that are ignorant, and parts of me that understand. I have parts of me I don't like, and parts of me that I love. I have parts of me that I'm afraid of, and parts of me that I'm proud of. I have parts of me that I'm so scared to look at. I keep them hidden away, and they are buried so deep. I don't even want to think about it. And parts of me that I bring to light every day. Parts of me that I allow to shine every day. And the thing about all these parts, they are all me. They're all me. Oh, they're all me. I'm such a mixed bag. Oh, oh my gosh, this thing we call the human condition is such an exercise in contradictions. I mean, it really is funny. Oh my gosh. If you can find the hilarity in that, if you can allow yourself a belly breath, if you can, a belly laughter, if you can just do whatever, just recognize, yeah, we're a completely mixed bag. And again, if you have to pause this, like, and go take care of yourself, go do that. Oh my goodness. Mm. Um, okay. Now for this next part of stage two. I want you to imagine somebody, and ideally, this is somebody in your immediate family or somebody that you're really good friends with, somebody that is important in your life, that your life would be, I'm not paying attention myself, that you feel would be just incomplete without them. And before we move into stage two, so especially if these people, if this particular person sees different than you on something major in life, uh, it doesn't have to be politics, although it could be politics. Um, it could be it's around children. It could be like if something that really triggers you. Um, for me, my top two are politics and people that buy dogs. Irritates the hell out of me. And I have so many friends and so many family members who insist on buying a purebred. And meanwhile, I'm going down to the pound or I'm reaching out to a local rescue to find the purebred off the shelf, the one that doesn't have paperwork, that's kind of messed up a little bit. There was a bad ear crop job, or you could just tell somebody didn't love them before, whatever it is. Like those are my two big triggers. And it's easy for me to find people in both of those categories in my life that that particular aspect or part of them really triggers me. Um, and I also love them to pieces. So um, you can imagine that person, whether this is a sibling, whether it's a parent, whether it's a friend. And now imagine that you're together. And it's not just the two of you, it's actually a gathering. And whether this is Thanksgiving, whether it's a family reunion, whether it's a friend union, um, whether it's Christmas, whether it's your birthday, like, any of your favorite holidays, Easter, whatever it may be. And there's all of you, and you're all gathered around a dinner table. And the person that you have in mind, and in the way that they trigger you, and you have it in mind, and no matter how close or how alienated you are in this moment, and they walk over to you and they hand you something that you're so touched by. Because, first of all, you didn't even know that they remembered that you loved that thing they just handed you. So, and here, it could be a food, it could be like a little trinket. Today, for this exercise, depending on, so there are multi videos here on stage two. For today, we're actually going to go back and forth. So I'm gonna use as an example my sister, and pretend she walks over to me and she hands me an iced matcha latte with coconut milk from my favorite coffee place. And it is just perfect. And I didn't even know that she knew that I drank these and I'm obsessed with them. And it is just so touching. And I'm like, "Oh." And that feeling you feel when somebody does something for you, and it is just like words fail you, and it's the most perfect thing you could have imagined. And now I'm gonna pull from behind the curtain a gift for her. something she didn't even know that I knew she wanted. And I gift it to her anyways. For her, it's 2 bags of lemons from Sicily. So that's this exchange. And then you've just had this incredible exchange with this person. And then you go around the table to each of your other friends and family, and there's this same exchange. And it's not even necessarily going around the table. It could just be them walking up to you, handing you something else that you really are like, oh, just so touched by. And it could be just the smallest trinket. I mean, seriously, a bag of lemons, like why would that be special except that it is? A matcha latte, why would that be special except that it is? And this happens over and over and over again. So that's what we're going to imagine. That's the state that we're going to imagine. And every time that you see somebody in your friend in your family group handing you one of these gifts, let yourself indulge in that feeling. And every time you gift them the thing that you know they want, and you see that grateful look in their eye, like take a moment and enjoy the deliciousness of that. So that's actually what we're going to do instead of the dinner table thing. All right. So it's more like a dinner party or a celebration party. All right. Once again, you're going to bring one hand to the space where it was difficult for you to expand and contract, and the other hand to the space where it was really easy for you to do that. And actually, before we do this exercise, I want to repeat the speak up one more time, because if you're like me, what you noticed in that exercise where we just looked at the different polarities and the different rhythms within our body, which is what this is all about, this stage is all about, then chances are high one of the things you noticed is after you breathed into the space of greatest ease for you, the rhythm was lost in this area that was less expansive for you. And so I want to take a quick moment, go back and do this speak up part of stage 2 one more time before we move into this celebration. And just so you know, now you're set up for the celebration too. Okay, so bring your hands back to the area where it was very difficult for you. And we're just going to do this fairly quickly. You can take us, of course, pause the video, take as long as you want. Speak out. It is okay to be seen. It is okay to be heard. It is okay to be all you. Everybody wants to hear your thoughts. Everybody wants to hear what you are thinking. Everybody wants to hear your insights. You won't get scolded for sharing. You won't be treated like an outcast for sharing your thoughts. You will be loved beyond measure, as you always are, as you always were, as you always will be. It's okay for you to speak. It's okay for you to speak. 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 Okay. Now that we've done just a quick recap on that, again, if you feel like you need longer there, take as long as you like. For now, we're going to bring a hand to area of greatest ease and area where it was most difficult. And we're going to begin breathing in the nose, out the mouth as we imagine this celebration, as we imagine this gift exchange. And once again, this is an incredible gift exchange. This is not exchanging a presents. This is not obligatory exchanging of presents like it is at Christmas time. we're talking small trinkets. We're talking found feathers. We're talking hummingbird feathers of purple and gold. We're talking something as simple as coffee or a bag of lemons. Okay. That is just going to make you feel so special and so seen and so heard, and make the person that you are sharing your gifts with feel so special and feel so seen and so heard. Okay. So, once again, breathe into each of these areas with that celebration in mind. Make any sounds that you want to make. Give yourself the time and the space to see what rhythm develops underneath your hands. I have different parts of me with different rhythms. Sometimes it seems like each one of these is doing its own thing, but you know what? All of these are part of me, and I love all of them, even the most unlovable parts, the ones I want to hide away. But they're all me. They're all me. Hands off your body. That is it for stage one and stage two. Thank you so much for being here. And again, I'm going to run through this just really quickly, these stages, what it would look like if you want to add this in as part of your bedtime routine. And I'm actually going to clip that part of the video out and have it separate so it's easy for you to run through really quick. All right. I'll catch you in another video. Bye.